Right, in this video I want to tell you a little bit about how to use the discussion boards and also show you where you can access some examples of really good discussion board posts that have been made by students in previous semesters. So when you open up the course, you will see announcements. I'm making this in June, actually, so there are no announcements posted just yet, but you'll see some when you access it. And most of your discussion board experiences will be just with your small group. So each of you has been assigned to either the blue group, the red group, the green group. So you don't have to look at discussion board posts from 20 different people. That would just be too much. So in order to access your group's discussion board, you go to group, and let's say you were in the blue group. Nobody's been assigned to groups yet. Click on the discussion board right here. And the only thing that will show up for you in the first week is just this very first discussion board question, which is asking you to introduce yourselves to your group, and then over the course of the week, by engaging in some discussion, identify two things that you share with other folks in the group. So one thing with one person, one thing with another person. And you can include me in that. So in order to post to the discussion board, you'll click on the forum, click on the actual title, and you'll create a thread. So whenever you write your initial post, you'll type in a subject header that basically gives everybody a little bit of an understanding of what you're going to be writing about. And I had composed something in Word, so what I will do is paste it in. All right, so this is what I have from before. Blackboard does give you a little bit of a spell check. So I would look at this and say, okay, everything looks good, sounds right, and submit it. All right, so now maybe other folks, let's say, have already gone in and put their posts up. It's midweek and I go in again. And let's say I want to respond. In order to respond to a person, whether it's the instructor or another student, you click on the post that that person has created, look over it, and hit reply. And so in replying, for this week, you might want to try and find something that you have in common. So maybe you have a dog, you could write a little bit about that. Maybe you work as a patient care assistant, you could write a little bit about that. So you have your response here, which is thoughtful and interesting and engaging, and you will submit that. And over the course of the week, what we will see is a variety of posts and then folks responding to other people's posts. During week 1, I have provided to you a sheet of paper with a couple different screenshots that also guides you through this process in case you haven't used a discussion board before and you have questions. Now, there are going to be a few weeks where you are interacting not just with your small group, but with the entire class. And to access the entire class discussions, you would go over to this place on the menu, click on discussions, and you can see week 5 is one of those cases where we will have an all-class discussion, and then also I think in weeks 14 and 15 there'll be all-class discussions. There are two things that I want to draw your attention to. One is the course information discussion. So this is where you can post questions that would be of interest to everybody, and I actually saved some of last year's questions. So you can see this is something that quite frankly is covered in the syllabus. I was disappointed to see that somebody had posted that. So we look, and the person has posted this, and actually I think there were a couple other students who responded to that and said, no, we don't have a final exam, but those didn't transfer over. But a lot of these questions are just challenges that students are facing, maybe something that they're confused about, whereas week 1 discussion board, why can't I see comments on the wiki? And the nice thing is I'm not the only one who can respond. Other students can respond, and then everybody can see what people are writing, whereas if you send me an email, you and I are the only ones that know. So definitely, if you have questions about the course, post them here, and I do look at this every couple of days. Something else that I want to draw your attention to on this all-class discussion board is I have provided you with some examples of what I think are high-quality discussion board posts and responses. So if we expand this here a bit, we can see that I provided you with an example of a question that I created, and then the responses that the students made, and I didn't want to transfer their names. It looks like I wrote them all, but these are actually things that students had written. And so I encourage you to just read over these, because these are all original posts or student responses that earned full credit and were really quite strong. So they're examples of quality work, and I hope to see other folks trying to provide the same kind of quality work. That's all I have to say about discussion boards, but obviously if you have questions, post them on that course information discussion board, and I'll make sure to get to it.